Hi, my name is Peter Kaczynski. I work for a company called MaxScheduler. We're continuing with our web series for manufacturers and printers about software challenges they face in their businesses. We want to share our experiences. MaxScheduler is a scheduling software business. We've been doing it for about 20 years. We've helped companies schedule around 1 billion tasks. You can contact us through maxscheduler.com. Today we're doing a video series, kind of getting into the problems within a manufacturing facility, and what these problems that may initiate a search for scheduling software. Let's lay down some basics to describe how a company might get to that point. Many companies start off with basic software and process to start the business. For example, they might need, in regards to software, they can get by with an accounting system for quite some time. And the companies focus on what they're good at and just need to have minimal peripheral systems to support those main activities. As the business grows, they may need to get more complex. Going back to their starting processes, they may start off with simple scheduling, for example, using wall boards, job travelers, or spreadsheets. Now, I wanted to list a number of symptoms that may describe that may initiate, looking for a scheduling solution. One example is you're constantly making excuses to customers about missing deadlines. This is a symbol that you're not keeping on top of your schedule. Customers are getting frustrated and perhaps taking their business elsewhere. A big one is you're constantly in a mode of trying to squeeze emergency orders in, not being able to see the consequences of those emergency changes and paying for it later with future emergencies. So in a sense, you're making an emergency change today, which will result in multiple emergency changes in the future, and you're kind of building up this snowball of problems. Another example of this is perhaps poor communication. If you're using this is especially true if you're using like job travelers or wall boards or something physical. Many people within your organization may have to resort to phone calls, chasing people to find the status on a job, whether they'll be able to meet a deadline, etc. Good examples of this are you have a customer service rep who receives a call from the customer who wants to know what the status of a job is. That CSR then has to go chase some other people to get an update on what's going on. If you have, say, with MaxScheduler, we're a web-based scheduling system. I'll give a brief show of our main scheduling screen here. This is our main scheduling screen. It's a web-based scheduler. Every user requires a user ID and password. It can support many users at the same time with different permission levels. And through the screen like this, the top port is the schedule, the columns represent resources, the rows represent date and time, the colored blocks represent scheduled jobs. At the area at the bottom, these are jobs to be scheduled. To schedule something, you simply drag and drop it onto the board. With a tool like this, if you're a CSR, you can go look it up yourself and find out, hey, is there some problems with this job, or is it kind of going to be finished when the customer is expecting it? Another example could be you have a salesperson who's out in the field, perhaps trying to close a deal with a customer, wants to be able to check, hey, do we have the capacity to take on this work? And they can go, if perhaps they're not able to get in touch with the scheduler to get a commitment, they can perhaps look themselves and figure out whether the due date is possible. Kind of going beyond the process problems, there's also kind of cultural question or cultural issue of if you're not doing great at scheduling, there's just an increased stress levels among staff, floor workers, customer service, salespeople, because they're constantly kind of running around trying to keep on top of things. Another example is poor utilization of plant resources, for example, machines, people, and work centers. If you don't have a scheduling system, you can sometimes feel like your business is incredibly busy, but if you then go out to the factory floor, we've heard of this scenario before where people go out to the factory floor and see that half of the expensive machinery is not being used, and if you have perhaps a better scheduling system, you can kind of see this visually through, a web-based scheduler, and perhaps make changes so that you have better utilization of resources. So this was a video kind of giving symptoms of problems when you don't have great scheduling. Thank you for your time.